Hello everybody, this is Maniac for Bricks More with behind the scenes in the LEGO room. There's still plenty of cleaning and organizing to do, so expect these videos to have a big mess behind them somewhere, but I wanted to show you some progress. This shelf has been taken out of my bookshelf because I'm making room for something new and something really enjoyable. That and the Wild West scene has been up here for over a year. I've already done a video on it, and I think it's about time that it retired so that I could fit some other things in its place. Like, say, I don't know, the Ninjago City. Yeah, now we finally got it up on the shelf. It is pretty much as as minimum as I can make the shelf height. This model sits about 26 inches in height, especially if you count top points like this antenna. I could technically take out the antenna and it would give me a little bit more shelf room, like if I could just push the shelf up another peg or two, but that's a difference of about 1 or 2 inches. I'm sure that piece is going to get lost and I'm not going to be aware of it. So for right now, I'm fine with that. And also just kind of presents it better. Yeah, you do have this overhang on the shelf, which might actually block part of this, and it is nice to see the whole thing right here, standing next to the shelf. I don't know if it's going to sit on this side or this side, but since this has a whole light unit thing, that needs work. It needs work on how it's assembled and how it's going to be arranged between all the shelves, so I don't even know if it's going to sit there entirely. That was a solution I came up with a long time ago, and it's kind of needing some work. So for right now, this is fine. I am still keeping Benny's spaceship here. I do need to add the figures back into it, because I think I took out Wild Style, which has always been in my displays with the baseball field. And I think somebody else might be missing in here. Oh, Benny. He's also part of the baseball field. So I'll bring those two back in here at some point. But for right now, I don't want to take apart that set. It's fine. If I have a better space for it, I will do that. Maybe it could go on the shelf underneath it, because it's very, very narrow. Yeah, unfortunately, putting Ninjago City on top of here, and I was aware of this a while ago, putting Ninjago City on top of here means that this is a very narrow middle shelf. And originally, it was used for 60th anniversary stuff, so it would be very classical looking, very, vintage LEGO sets. You can see a bunch of the boxes here. There are a couple of celebration boxes, such as the windmill set. You can see the blue house set back there. There used to be try to remember the word for it, the minifigure promo with the factory. Those are still in my collection. They're just moved around from this spot, and a couple of promo sets and custom sets have been in here in its place, such as the Brick Fair fireplace, a couple of the Brickfest vignettes, and the Master Builder Ghostbusters house. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to be done with this right now, but I may move these things around and make it into a different kind of shelf. This one does have its own lighting to it. It's actually a unit without LED lights, and it's just enough to work, but I could swap those out with the other lights I have on the side if I wanted to have more color variants, if I wanted to have it using LEDs instead of Duracell, always have to replace those batteries at some point. Whatever the case may be, just working that around. Yeah, admittedly, this fish tank area, this aquarium, is kind of the reason why that's a narrow shelf, because I can't move that one any closer. It's pretty much at the space it needs to be. Anything further down, well, kind of can move, depending on what boxes are there. Hey, I got an idea. Maybe I could use this spot for brickheads, because I think this would be just enough space. Yeah, it's almost just enough space, with or without box, fitting the brickheads in here all in a row. That would be kind of cool. And admittedly, I have a lot of brickheads, most of them in this box, and the 4 LEGO Movie 2 ones up here. So that could actually work. That would actually be interesting. I don't know. Eventually I'll do a brickheads video. I don't know if I'm going to do a display, but that could possibly work. With this whole thing, it's going to be broken apart, and all the sets are going to be put in their own bags. Any of the custom figures in here are going to be mixed back into minifig parts. And I will probably put a checklist with some of these sets because they are incomplete. This Sheriff's Lockup I got from eBay, incomplete. Comanche Camp is incomplete, but that's fine. I'm not worried about completing it just yet because it just had just enough accessories of what I needed to add into the space and fill it out a bit more. Meanwhile, the rest of the sets in here, the Gold City Junction and the mine, were traded to me. I'm not going to go into that story again. But yeah, it was unfortunate that they were incomplete. I've had some parts I've found over time, but there are still plenty of missing parts here and there. And eventually I'll get both of those done. I think one of the key things that's incomplete, I want to say with this building, is that there's a glass piece missing. One of the two buildings has a glass piece missing, which is very difficult. Oh, yep. Over here, here we go. Over here, there's a glass piece missing. And I believe that window back there with the wanted sign has a glass piece missing. Those are a little hard to find, whether it's the stickers themselves or with the sticker applied onto them. So, yeah, eventually I'll come back to these, get them completed, and I could have a video documenting them again. So, there's that. I've had a bunch of stuff moved around because this room is always evolving, and when I have to get something done, I always have to move stuff in the room until it has a proper resting place. That's just the nature of the beast, and I will take care of it as much as I can over time. It's not going to be done immediately. So, yes, it is still a train wreck, of course. Still trying to figure out a place for this shelf. I actually have 2 other units like this for some of my favorite minifigs to prop up. I don't know exactly where it's going to go yet. Oh, wait, I have 2 of them? Huh. You know what? I didn't even realize it. 2 of these. There we go. 2 original minifigs of the police officer. I did not know that. I thought I took one and put it back down here, but hey, even better. So, yeah, I have that. It will be taken care of. It'll be fleshed out with more minifigs in it. And I'm not sure where exactly it's going to go, if it's going to be in this room or another room. I have thought of the idea of fitting it near that window, maybe fitting them across or something, but I'm not sure yet. That window space is going to be used for something at some point, I'm sure. Batman still needs work. I got to go back to the asylum and figure out what's missing from that set and get the pieces for it. And also, what I've lately been working on is the Nerf space, the Nerf maker space. Some of you might think, oh, why are you putting that in the Lego room? That's kind of a waste. I was going to use this table for Lego stuff. It was actually going to be an extension of the beach town. However, I never really found enough space to really work with it. And I always liked the modularity of the beach town where I could take out buildings and put new ones in the same space. It kind of made more sense that way. And as I've been developing more of my Nerf hobby lately in this year, I thought I should actually have a space to work with it. Aside from just having the garage with dozens and dozens of blasters in boxes. Like Tupperware kind of boxes. So this is now finally having a pegboard. I've been able to attach many hooks onto it. I still need to work on that one in the middle because it's just a little too tight of a space there, but I'll get to that eventually. It's been able to fit most of the blasters I've wanted to fit on here, which are Mavericks and Strong Arms. I'm hoping to have complete collections of those and then hang them all across the racks. With Mavericks, it's pretty close to a complete collection for the official ones, now that I have both clear ones. But I might fit some of the painted ones. Once I get those painted, they could fit on that middle rack or something like that. If that middle rack doesn't work out, then I could probably use that for an emblem. Because in Nerf, some people have different emblems or insignia to tell them apart as players. So, yeah, that's a possibility. I may move the shelf underneath that with those drawer units. Debatably fitting another pegboard or something just to fill out the background and kind of separate it from the rest of the room, give it a nice backdrop to it, because I do like the brown background there, kind of making its own thing. And the table, of course, will be cleaned up, have a proper space for all the paints and the screws, and a bunch of things will fit into those drawers for parts, and underneath will be, project bins, basically. So it'll be a mixture of ammunition, projects to be worked on, other blasters I find interesting, any of the knockoff Mavericks will go into one of them. All that will be worked out eventually. Lego library. It's got a couple more books added to it, and it's gonna need some more space. I know the one thing I need to do first is take care of that binder and any instructions that are sitting in between shelves. There's a bunch of instruction books that have been sitting around, and they're not supposed to be here. They're supposed to be an entirely different drawer unit, which I have in another room, and I have to just organize the shelves in order to fit that, or like the files, that's what I mean, in those filing cabinets, so that I can fit the instructions in there and be a little more organized. Kind of disappointed with myself that I didn't bring this to Brick Fair, New Jersey. This is a whole bunch of sig figs, and I did have some with me, but there were extra parts in here, just in case, and there was my main brick badge. I only really need one, ever, until the magnet or adhesive wears out. But I usually have one, and I just customize it differently for every show, and I didn't bring it. I didn't remember where this bag was. I used the one that they gave me for the goodie bag, and I just went with it. But I am going to try to have a space of stuff that is going to be for conventions and not misplaced. Talking about a certain hammer, and not one of these. And then making life easier, hopefully, in the near future. A whole bunch of stuff all the way around to take care of. That's no stranger to me. I am definitely aware of this stuff. I just need to figure out what will work best and when I can take care of it. I don't have a lot of time to really dedicate to the whole room at once. So if I can get a little bit done every so often, like Ninjago City, I'm happy about that. I'm glad that's up there, and that's good enough for me for now. I could probably come back to this room later today or this week at some point and get more done. Every once in a while, I do break up Lego sets that I don't need, especially if they're ones I can store away and keep with other sets in the relative themes. Some of them are falling apart, so I kind of need to take them into bags so they don't lose their pieces. And that by itself, I think, will make a lot of space easier. There's a lot of different drawers and boxes and cabinets and whatever that are throughout this room and my personal room, my bedroom, that need to be filled. You know, even these drawers down here are not entirely filled or entirely organized. At some point they will be. But I'm a patient guy. There's a lot to do here, and I can take as much time as I need to get things done. Even the boxes back here, some of them are empty. Like that Joker box, that's practically empty. And I don't have the Joker Manor. I just have the box. Because I think it's nice of organizing all the Batman sets into it when I need to. Or whatever superhero theme it is. So thanks for watching this video, and a nice look around the room. What is it, November 6th, 2019? And I'll talk to you later.